Ansbach Residenz, also known as Margraves Schloss, is a palace in Ansbach, Germany. The palace was developed from a medieval building. The foundation dates back to 1363. Then, the construction of a large moated castle began in 1398 by Friedrich I, Elector of Brandenburg. Eventually, with the completion of the castle in 1456, Ansbach became the official residency of the Margraves of Ansbach. George Friedrich, Margrave of Brandenburg-Ansbach, ordered the Swabian architect Blasius Berwart to build a palace. It was erected in Renaissance style from 1565 to 1575. It wasn't until 1703 when the Margrave William Friedrich came to rule the residence that major changes occurred to the palace. Brought about the craftsmanship of Gabriel de Gabrieli, Carl Friedrich von Socca, and Leopold Reti. Between 1705 to 1738, the building was changed to its present form. Gabrieli designed the original arcaded courtyard, one of the great inventions of the German late Baroque. The palace is famous for the fine quality of the Margravial state apartments, which were created mostly between 1734 to 45 under the artistic guidance of the architect Reti. Before 1709, Gabrieli created the southeast wing with the main facade, in a style similar to the Viennese Baroque. The palace boasts 27 beautifully decorated Rococo-inspired rooms, largely attributed to Reti, whose interior dates from 1734 to 45. The Great Hall was provided with painted ceilings and the rooms were fitted with Ansbach porcelain tiles of the 18th century vintage. Among the highlights are the ceiling paintings in the Festival Hall by Carlo Carloni, the gallery containing decorative work illustrating the history of the Margraves of Ansbach, and the mirror cabinet with its exquisite pieces of Meissen porcelain. In 1791, Carl August von Hardenberg, Prussia's representative in Ansbach, added boardrooms and a library. The Gothic Hall, remaining from the Renaissance building, contains the important Adolf Bayer collection of Ansbach ceramics. It was designed by architect Blasius Berwart around 1565 to 75, with its rebuilt in a clear indication of the earlier origins of the part of the residence. Since 1972, this hall has been used to exhibit the large collection of porcelain from the Ansbach Porcelain Manufactory, founded in 1709. From 1806, the Royal Bavarian government started functioning in Ansbach. The castle's first floor rooms were converted into office, while the rooms on the other floors remained unchanged. Between 1962 and 1974, the last major renovations to the palace were completed. The Bavarian administration of state-owned palaces, gardens, and lakes is in charge of the buildings and the museum. The Ansbach Residence is also the seat of the government of Central Franconia. Aside from the palace, there is also a garden and an orangery.
Walking along the main facade of the Orange Palace, Jeep.
The palace also had a garden that was laid out in the 16th century and modified in the 18th century with an orangery. Located in the palace grounds but regarded as a distinctly separate building, the orangery and parterre leading up to it boasts a variety of fruit and herbs, including oranges, pistachios, strawberries, and olives. The court garden was already being written about by Leonhard Fuchs, who was a personal physician to the Margrave from 1528 to 1535. Around 100 years later, gardeners succeeded in getting an agave to bloom for the first time north of the Alps. Between 1723 to 1750, on the initiative of the Margarine, Christiane Charlotte of Brandenburg-Ansbach, the court garden was redesigned as a Baroque garden. The Orangery was the final stage of development and the main architectural feature, which began in 1726 and designed by Carl Friedrich von Zocca. The inspiration from the Orangery came from both the Louvre, where an adaptation of the colonnades can be seen, and from the Grand Trianon of Versailles. Since its design in 1726, the Orangery and Garden has had some modifications, including monuments to the botanist Leonhard Fuchs and the poet Johann Peter Uus, as well as the other prominent members of the Ansbach government. Yet perhaps the most interesting monument in the palace gardens is that to Caspar Hauser, a young man murdered there in December 1833. His birth, life, and death remain a mystery, but his impact on Ansbach can still be felt by the various monuments and statues dotted around the town. The Orangery and Garden was badly damaged in the Second World War, but was rebuilt after 1945. In the summer months, over 150 plants are placed in front of it. Further elements of the garden are the 550-meter Linden Avenue with 4 rows of trees, which runs parallel to the Orangery, and the medicinal herb garden with the new citrus house completed in 2002. Today, the Ansbach Orangery houses a cafe and restaurant, as well as concerts and events, the largest being the Rococo Festival, which takes place annually in July. The Ansbach Residence is open year-round, with slightly shorter hours during the winter. As you can see, the palace and the Orangery and Garden still plays an important part in the city of Ansbach. Until next time, don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. Bye! So guys, if you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel and feel free to comment.
Hit the bell, hit the bell!